In this video, I will discuss about the digestion and absorption of carbohydrates. So, what are the dietary carbohydrates? Examples like glucose and fructose are monosaccharides, and disaccharides like sucrose and lactose, polysaccharides like starch and glycogen. These are the important dietary carbohydrates. So, how they are digested in our body. For monosaccharide, no digestion is needed as monosaccharides contain only a single sugar unit. No digestion is needed for that. For disaccharides, they are digested by small intestinal epithelial cell enzymes, and for polysaccharides, they are digested by both salivary and pancreatic amylase. Then what are the sites of digestion? It can occur in mouth, stomach and intestine. So in the mouth, the process of digestion start in the mouth by the help of salivary alpha amylase. So the salivary alpha amylase is also called tyalin, and the gastric HCl will inhibit the action of this salivary amylase. Next is digestion in the stomach. No carbohydrate digestive enzyme is seen in gastric juice. And though I already told you the action of salivary amylase is inhibited by gastric HCl. Next site is in the intestine. Mainly it occurs in the duodenum and jejunum. The pancreatic enzymes like pancreatic alpha amylase and the intestinal enzymes mainly disaccharidases. Disaccharidases, as the name indicate, they break the disaccharide into two monosaccharide unit. So in the intestine, the digestion occurs mainly in the duodenum and jejunum. Pancreatic enzymes like pancreatic alpha amylase and intestinal enzymes like disaccharadases. And the digestion in the intestine, pancreatic enzyme like alpha amylase, this is specific for the for internal alpha 1,4 glycosidic bonds. So this alpha amylase cleave alpha 1,4 glycosidic bonds. Next is the intestinal enzymes, that is called disaccharadases. They are produced by the small intestinal epithelial cells. Examples are for sucrose we have sucrase, maltase, isomaltase and lactase. These are the disaccharadases which break the disaccharide. And the product of digestion will be monosaccharides. We already know disaccharide is composed of two monosaccharides. So this disaccharadases break the disaccharide into two monosaccharide units. Then coming to the absorption, only monosaccharides are absorbed by the intestine, and the major monosaccharides absorbed are glucose, fructose and galactose. And the rate of absorption is more for galactose than glucose, then last for fructose. So, in the absorption is mainly by a carrier mediated transport. Glucose absorption mainly occurs in a two-step process. First one is across the luminal aspect with the help of SGLUT, that is serum glucose transporter, sodium glucose transporter. And the second one is across the serosal aspect by glucose transporter 2, simply GLUT2. So the glucose absorption occurs by a carrier mediated transport. There are two carriers. Across the luminal aspect we have sodium glucose transporter, and across the serosal aspect we have glucose transporter. So what is this sodium dependent glucose transporter? They have a role in transport across the luminal aspect of intestinal epithelial cells. So it is a membrane bound carrier protein and it is a co-transport mechanism. And this sodium dependent glucose transporter transport sodium from a higher concentration to a lower concentration, and that is coupled with the transport of glucose from the lower concentration to the higher concentration. Both sodium and glucose are bound by the carrier protein, and there are two types of sodium dependent glucose transporter, SGLUT1 and SGLUT2. So this glucose transporter 1 is seen in the intestine and 2 is seen in the kidney. So you can see in this picture how the sodium and glucose is transported. They are also called co-transporter because both sodium and glucose is transported in the same direction. Okay, so this is the lumen of small intestine. So here the sodium concentration will be high. So sodium is transported from the higher concentration to the low concentration, and it is coupled with the another one, that is glucose, and the glucose is transported from its low concentration to its high concentration. Okay, so this is the example for sodium dependent glucose transporter, and this is the first one. And in the second one you can see the glucose transporter only alone. This is the second example, glucose transporter, and here the glucose is transported from its high concentration to the low concentration with the help of glucose transporter, simply GLUT, G-L-U-T, GLUT. It is simply represented as GLUT. Okay. So this is an example of sodium dependent glucose transporter, and this is only glucose transporter. So this sodium dependent glucose transport is a secondary active transport mechanism. Why it is called secondary active? Because initially no energy is needed. From the lumen of small intestine, sodium is transported to the inside the cells. Here no energy or ATP is used. But once it is inside the cell, this sodium is transported into the blood cells with the help of sodium potassium ATPase. So here we are using energy or ATP. So that is why it's called it a secondary active transporter. And this sodium glucose transporter is coupled with sodium potassium pump, which expels out sodium from the mucosal cells into the interstitial space, and which requires energy. That is why it is an example for secondary active transport mechanism. Next is about sodium independent transporter. I told you the next one, which is mainly by facilitated diffusion with the help of glucose transporters. There are 1 to 7 glucose transporters are present in our body. Then this glucose transported by using the ping pong mechanism. So here you can see these are the glucose molecule. They can transfer from here to here. So first this is the Pong state in which glucose molecules are present, and when inside the lumen it will become the ping state and the glucose molecule will be released. So this is the ping pong mechanism. So the glucose transporters are membrane proteins involved in the transport of glucose across the cell membrane, and there are glucose transporters 1 to 7. So these are the glucose transporter where there is present and what is the function. So glucose transporter 1 is present in the RBC, brain, retina and placenta. The function is glucose uptake in most of the cells. Glucose transporter 2, I told you, it is present in the serosal surface of the intestine and also in the liver and pancreas. And the function is also the glucose uptake in liver. The next is glucose transporter 3. It is present in brain. So glucose transporter 1 and 3 is present in brain, and 3 is neurons also. You can see the glucose transporter 3. Then the next is glucose transporter 4, which is present in the skeletal muscles, heart muscles and adipose tissue. This glucose transporter 4 is under the influence of insulin. So there the function is insulin stimulated glucose uptake. Next is glucose transporter 5, which is present in the small intestine, testes and sperm. It is mainly a fructose transporter. Next is about the galactose absorption. It is similar to glucose. So glucose transporters will transport both glucose and galactose. The fluorescein inhibits sodium dependent transport of glucose and galactose. Next is the fructose absorption. It is simple and no energy is needed, and it is sodium independent transport. So hope you understood about the digestion and absorption of glucose, both monosaccharides, disaccharides and polysaccharides. Thank you.